what's up, everyone? Welcome to yet another episode of the Early Podcast Kickoff. Lawton's my name here. Eric Kamakawa next to me. Listen, man, what a week of emotions I've had.
From the Premier League to the Champions League.
But I'm telling you, I
mean, that's the best part of April and May.
Absolutely.
There's football every single time, every single week.
Let me tell you, it's crazy.
Yes.
Because every 3 days, Pep has to pull a miracle.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
What do you mean every 3 days?
Every 3 days, Pep is pulling a miracle.
On the weekend, we play the Premier League.
Also, let me tell you,
yes.
If Pep wins the Champions League this year, it's an if. I didn't say when. It's an if. I mean, Laporte put it on social media. We keep dreaming. I'm still dreaming.
We've dreamt and won it 6 times.
It's fine. If we win the Champions League this year,
yes,
it is the greatest underdog story in the history of the Champions League.
Bro, you spent so much money
on the Premier League. Listen, man, Madrid has spent money. And they've won it. Nobody criticizes them for it.
No, but see, they sell and
Liverpool bought players that January just for the Champions League.
Also Coutinho.
Fair, but you bought players.
And Torres.
You bought players.
And Suarez.
Manchester United were oligarchs. Cartels for the longest time. Everybody knows Chelsea are fraudsters.
Yo, listen.
Champions League and money, side by side.
You know, when you said the greatest underdog ever to win the Champions League, if Tottenham would have done it, like in 2010, you would have said yes. But now you guys, you've won the Premier League like 4 times?
No, this is the 5th.
You've won the Premier League more than 4 times. You've had money, like you've been there. So you're not like a small team. You're a big team.
We are a small team in the Champions League.
I don't really agree to that point.
You guys say Camavinga is better than Man City because he's won Champions League. You know what? We'll get to it. But you know what?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm telling you, man, it's started of the weekend. We'll get into the Champions League in a little bit. But first, shout out to all the West Ham fans in Nairobi and in Kenya.
So listen, man. I think we correctly predicted this game. West Ham Arsenal.
I knew Arsenal were gonna drop points.
But when I saw them 2-0 up, I was like, they're getting this one.
Yo, man, I don't even think that was it, man. Yeah. When they were 2-1 down.
Yeah.
And then
thank you.
Saka missed a pen.
Ooh, that pen would have sealed the game.
I think that pen is where they lost the game. Rather, they drew the game from. So.
But what happens to Arsenal in the second half? Last week, last week. Remember Anfield? Second half, don't know where to be seen.
I don't know, man.
Last week, West Ham wanted more than Arsenal. Like, West Ham are looking like the title contenders, and like Arsenal on the other side.
I mean, it's obviously one of those proverbial situations where you look at it and you're like, okay, do we lose concentration? Is it a concentration issue? Is it a personnel issue? I mean, because they brought in like Trossard, they brought in like Jorginho. Partey looked terrible in that particular game.
Trossard has been ineffective in the last 2-3 games. If you compare how good he was when he came to the Arsenal or when he was at Brighton.
True. But you know, they say Trossard is according to Arsenal fans, Trossard is the January signing of the season.
Well, we don't have many this season. So he may be top 3 or something.
No, fair. But I mean, obviously, Arsenal dropped points in that one. But there was an interesting perspective that came out this week. Rio Ferdinand, was speaking on his podcast, said that, he asked if Arsenal don't win the league and United just finished with the Carabao Cup, which team would have had a successful season?
You know, that's a very good topic because I remember like 3 or 2 years ago, we had that topic on the show, on the radio with John. And John was saying that it doesn't make sense for you to qualify for the Champions League every single season and then you end up not winning anything. So you'd rather focus on the FA Cup and play the Europa League. And that's what Arsenal did. They won the FA Cup like 3 or 4 years ago, but they were not in the Champions League. And he said that's a good season for them. They won a trophy. So now here, no one remembers number 2.
I mean, listen, man.
If they win the trophy,
this is a number 2 that was 5th last year.
It's fine, but listen here. We've had teams who have been number 2, number 3s, and they've never been seen again, or they've had a good season. Man United have won a trophy. Every player's dream is to win a trophy. if Arsenal don't win the league this season and United won the Carabao Cup and finished within top 4, I think that's a good season for them. First season for Chanag, Alfuza Ronaldo, and I think for me, I do agree to some extent with Rio Ferdinand.
So you think if Arsenal don't win the league?
Let me tell you, it's actually so bad because for Arsenal now, it's not like other teams. Arsenal have been on top for almost every single month of the season. They were on top from game week 3. That is from August.
They only lost it for 60 hours.
For a couple of hours, exactly. Yeah. And then they came back on top. So they have to win this league because they've been on top for so long. And like other teams, let's say like now, when us guys lost the league, we were not like number one for some time. We were never even number one last season.
The last season you want.
Exactly.
But that year when Leroy Sané...
Oh yeah, 2019 at least. That one you can understand. But now for Arsenal, Man City are chasing them. It's a different story. They have to win this league. They have had a fantastic opportunity, which I don't think can come around again for the next like 4 to 5 years.
Well, obviously, everybody second guesses what Arsenal can do this year, except obviously Arsenal fans. But let's talk about who's chasing Arsenal rather. Let's talk about Manchester City. All right, so City obviously went through in the Champions League quarterfinals. Difficult game against FC Bayern Munich. They now face Real Madrid. So now from the 10th, from the first week of May up until the last day of the season, City practically have a game every 48 hours. Or 72 hours if you put it that way. Now, during the Champions League, Nathan Ake had a muscle cramp.
Yeah.
He came out on social media and said that, he's felt that way before. He just became a little bit more tense. There's nothing to be concerned about. Obviously, we play Sheffield later on tonight, then Arsenal on Wednesday. Do you think City have the stamina, the oomph to now chase this Arsenal side, despite having a Madrid in there, there's a Brighton in there, there's a time that I think we play...
It's Chelsea.
There's a time we play Leeds. We play Leeds, Madrid, Brighton, Brentford.
Tricky games. Tricky teams.
Very, very tricky teams, man. All of them have unpredictable games. Obviously, probably we can get a result against Leeds. I'm not too sure how Brighton are going to show up.
Or Brentford.
Brentford is the last game of the season. I mean, where are you in this one, man?
I do trust City to go all there because last season, you were almost in the same exact situation. You played Madrid in the semis, in the Champions League, but you got knocked out. And probably the Champions League finals like at the end of the season. So you played almost every single game in the Premier League and the Champions League like Liverpool, apart from the final, which is like one game.
But there was no FA Cup.
But there was no FA Cup. No, you played the semis. We beat you guys. There's a semis now this weekend, like today.
Oh, yeah, fair.
And last season you played Liverpool. Now you play Sheffield, which is kind of not a big game like last season.
I'm thanking God. If we were playing Brighton this weekend,
no, you can even play your second keeper because you never play a second keeper.
Acha nikwambie leo Ortega, Kyle Walker, tuna unleash Mahrez on these children.
Ramadan Mahrez. When I look at this situation, I think the advantage goes to Arsenal. They should be able to play because Man City, they're in the Champions League, they're in the FA Cup, they play big teams, and like them, Arsenal are not in the Europa League anymore. They're not in the FA Cup, they're not in the Carabao Cup. They play only one game per weekend, so everything is pointing to them. They have a big chance to do it this season, but they bottled. And the bad thing is that we all knew when the situation will come, and the situation came twice, like we expected. Anfield and West Ham. It's so bad that everyone expected this to happen. It happened, and we still expect it to happen again on Wednesday when they play Man City.
What is your prediction for that one first?
I think City get it like 2-1 or 2-0.
City versus Arsenal.
If you look at City, the way they've played in the last 2 games, there's nothing to think about it. I think City 2-1 or 2-0.
I'm going for City 3-1.
And Arsenal do switch off in the second half. City don't switch off at all.
No. Concentration's levels high.
So I think Arsenal have lost it. They have a chance, they have a big chance.
So you think the Premier League is over?
I think it's done for me.
Arsenal still have a game against Chelsea, who have nothing to play for unless
it's no longer in their hand right now. It's out of their hand.
Newcastle away.
Yeah, but then they can still lose to Newcastle. You know that.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. Listen, I need you to head on out to our comment section and tell us, man. Do you think Arsenal have bought the league so far? Because Buda Inakani Kama, everybody else except Arsenal fans, believe that his season wamechoma.
You know, I think it will be so disappointing to their fans having a fantastic season, they're not winning any trophy. I think they should have focused on at least one domestic cup or just in a cup, the FA Cup or the Europa League.
Now that you said that, I mean, Eric, Eric is an objective pundit, very objective. Sometimes. You've watched the Champions League the last couple of weeks. Are Arsenal ready for this thing?
Listen.
No. If you're an Arsenal fan, do you think Nketiah can come off the bench against Bayern Munich?
What I can say is that Arsenal are ready for the Champions League group stage. Knockout football is a different story. Hiyo ezali nayo hiyo hakuna hiyo.
Umesema hawezi toboa.
Hiyo ni noma ni ngori.
Umesema December
na Manchester. Wanaenda they are qualifying for the Europa League through Champions League. Wanajua Manchester vizuri. But listen, there's a disappointment that comes with losing the Premier League. No matter what your target was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And when you win something at the end of the season, you feel at least we got something. We have been in those situations before. Liverpool, where we lost the league and didn't win anything else. And the situation where we lost the league but won the Champions League and the FA Cup.
Yeah.
2014, the Gerrard and Rodgers, we lost the league to Man City. We didn't win anything.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic season. And I liken it to the Arsenal of this season because they're playing exactly like us guys.
Yeah.
Young score, like they want more. They're winning the games that no one expected them to win. But at the end of the season, we didn't win anything. And we felt like with great players, Suarez, Sturridge, Coutinho, Gerrard, we felt that they deserved something because of the run that we had. We beat Arsenal like 5-1. We beat Man United home and away. When you get the first cut of the results, you want to finish with something.
Yeah.
But we were completely disappointed. And the team broke after that.
Yeah.
Suarez went to Barcelona, Sturridge got injured, Sterling went to Man City. I mean, Coutinho was neither here nor there, Gerrard retired. So the team was no longer there. You're not sure about the team. Come 2019, we had, I think, for me, like one of the best Premier League seasons for us.
Yeah.
The way we played, we lost by 1 point. We lost only one game, which was to Man City, who won the league. But we won the Champions League. You could feel that
consolation.
But you could feel like we've lost something, but we've still gotten a consolation, which is like which makes up for something for the defeat, for the loss of the Premier League. And it was a big cup. We won the Champions League. Last season, we lost the league against Man City, but won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Yes, we were disappointed not to win the league because we felt like we should have done it, but at least we went out with something. So for Arsenal this season now, they're about to lose everything. And you know how their fans are. They're so emotional, like they just expect them to win everything. I think it will be a very bad situation for them at the end of the season because they're going to lose everything. And no one's going to remember this season. It will be like one of those streets you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Remember Michu and Swansea?
Michu and Swansea.
I think this season goes down.
Wilfred Bony.
Exactly, it goes down that road.
Listen, man. One Spaniard to another. Michu to Arteta. Do you think if Arsenal bottled the league this year, then the season has been shambolic? Mind you, at the beginning of the season, if you had asked Arsenal fans, would you rather have your arm cut off or see you guys finish second behind City? Most of them would have taken the option of having their arms cut off because it was not possible. But anyway, quick one, man. FA Cup weekend. Only the big teams are playing in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Brighton United.
Brighton is the only team that can save us from Man City getting a treble.
Not United.
Oh, United. Oh, bro, you the Zabi ball. What a team. You give me Sunday.
Thank you.
We learned the patterns of Chelsea last weekend. I think I'll send you that link. There's a link on YouTube. And I think it was on the Premier League. Who the manager ball? The Zabi and your ball. I think they got the wrong guy, Chelsea. They should have gone to that team in Italy and got another guy. Exactly. The Zabi and your ball. Au jamaa ile game wanapigia Manchester mtati. Bila Rashford, lakini Rashford ana train.
So Rashford am train. Obviously there's a couple of guys that are still injured. Alessandro is out. Varane is out.
You know, this is Brighton's biggest chance to go back to Europe. To go to Europe. Well, they can qualify.
No, they can still get it through the Premier League.
But winning the FA Cup. Imagine Brighton winning the FA Cup and beating Man City. Because obviously Man City can win the league and the Champions League.
No. We're definitely going to win our
You'll be okay losing the FA Cup if you win the two.
Listen, we're going for everything so far.
Okay.
Everything so far. All right, so make sure you get out there Make sure you use the hashtag the early kickoff podcast and tell us, man, what do you think are your predictions for this weekend's football? But from us, see you all next week.